Din Corporation is a defunct roller coaster manufacturer that's often made fun of for only existing to be a playground for RMC, and today I've decided to prove that further because why not? Timberwolf at Worlds of Fun is a roller coaster made by Din, and it is a decently polarizing ride. Some people like its airtime, while others find it to be too rough and boring even after retracking work has been done. Personally, it's been a lot of years since I've experienced the coaster, so it's hard to give my opinion, but I do know that it has a fair bit of layout potential. Today, I'll be covering my idea for what an RMC Timberwolf could look like with a full POV of the ride at the end, and I also wanted to say real quick that this is an idea I'm borrowing from Elite Coasters. He's done this same kind of video for a ton of other Woodies, and they're all very entertaining videos, so if you're looking for something to watch, then his channel will be linked in the description. Alright, anyway, I started off my RMC Timberwolf with a few bunny hills out of the station. These are kinda poorly shaped because I didn't try, but just take this as saying there'd be a few bunny hills here. In general, please don't judge my No Limits 2 abilities too harshly, but if you want to, I don't really care that much, so go for it, I guess. Disclaimers out of the way, my concept climbs up into the lift hill, which adds about 25 feet to the original, and enters a left-hand turn the same as the OG Timberwolf does, but to spice it up, I made it dip down and bank more. Making a dip like this not only makes the pre-drop better, but also creates more momentum for the main drop, a nearly vertical, 120-ish foot plummet to the ground. Next, the train enters a speed hill where the old ride would be rising into a turnaround. This hill delivers a solid pop of ejector airtime before flinging you to the right in a whippy overbank. The overbank then throws you up into a huge outer bank very similar to ones found on Steel Vengeance and Airy Force 1. This outer bank has another really nice ejector pop in every row, and keep in mind that this is all taking place so far where this turnaround once stood. Timberwolf's next element was this sorta turning hill thing, but as you could probably expect, I switched it up a bit. The obvious choice was to go with a small outer bank, but seeing as the previous element was an outer bank, I decided to give Werewolf a world's first element. Werewolf is the name of the RMC conversion, by the way, because I thought it sounded sick, but I don't know, do you like it? Anyway, this is where I put an element that I've been itching to use for a while, an overbanked wave turn. Basically, it's the same thing as a normal wave turn, but banked 20 or so degrees past 90 to make the airtime a little more terrifying and intense. I don't think I made it perfectly, but I do think I got the idea across, so I'd call it a success overall. Coming out of the wave turn, I still had some space to fill before it turned around, so in classic RMC fashion, I added an ejector bunny hill. This hill is pretty sustained and sends the train into the first and only inversion, a 0G roll. The train pulls out of it into a 180-degree turn, very much so inspired by a similar element on Zadra at Energylandia. On Timberwolf there's a really awkward turn after the turnaround, so for my RMC version I decided to also make an awkward turn, but this one a little more thrilling. The train flies up into an airtime hill with just a little banking at the top, then quickly snaps back down to finish the turn. Timberwolf then has what is said to be the strongest airtime moment on the ride in a drawn-out turn, so to not get rid of a great airtime moment, I decided to make another world's first element-ish. It does a trick track double up, then continues the trick track motion back down, offering 3 super strong moments of ejector back to back with some whip and laterals. The following turn is a lot tighter than the original Timberwolf's, meaning we did technically venture from the OG support structure, but if Iron Gwazi is any indication, RMC shouldn't care too much. Speaking of Iron Gwazi, the next element was inspired by one of Gwazi's. Where Timberwolf has some straight track and a weaker bunny hill, Werewolf has a snappy 90-degree outer bank like Iron Gwazi's over the station. You'll whip out of this element, giving some nasty laterals in the back row. Following this is what seems like it's going to be a traditional bunny hill, but after some solid flagector in the front row, the train whips down to the left and into a tight overbank. This overbank sends you into a super strong ejector bunny hill. Similar to the beginning, this whole sequence of elements all just replaced a flat turnaround. Timberwolf ends off the ride with a wide turn and then a small hill and twisty thing into the brakes. Werewolf replaces this wide turn with a pop-up, giving some flagector, and then banking you out to the right a full 90 degrees and popping you out of your seat on this Haikuge-inspired wave turn-ish element before a couple more ejector bunny hills and a twisted cyclone-inspired twist into the brakes. Overall, I personally like this layout a lot as a Timberwolf replacement. I think it might be a little better with another inversion thrown in somewhere, but with 16 airtime moments, the strongest of which hits a whopping negative 1.6 vertical Gs, Werewolf isn't exactly lacking. With that, here's a POV. Enjoy the ride and let me know what you think of this concept in the comments. I'm very interested to hear if you like it and if you think Timberwolf needs RMC at all. Alright, goodbye.